Hello folks, sorry for kind of the wonky setup here. The microphone was not working on my computer, so I'm going to try this. So I'm just going to give a quick rundown for shading. These are 3 shapes. The first one I've directly instructed before on how to draw the cube, equal sides, is the isometric sketch view. Cylinder, I'm drawing an oval and then I give it some height, and I'm trying to make a bottom arch that matches my top arch. That will give me the illusion of the cylinder, and I'll do shading to give it more of a 3D depth in a moment. The sphere, I'm just going to start with a circle. Now I went ahead and drew light sources for all 3. You don't have to draw light sources in every drawing, it's just to help me explain to you how light would work and where it's coming from. So I'll start with the cube, most basic. So if light's coming kind of from the back at the top, it's going to hit this top surface and it would reflect. So if this is a colored thing, so it's on blue paper, it's just going to be the lightest shade of whatever that color is, and I'm just going to leave it alone. The side that's here, the light would be coming kind of past it, so it's not getting direct light like the top is, but it's also not in a shadow, so it's going to be somewhere in the middle. So if you're using a pencil, you can just go very lightly. If you're doing a pen, you can go very lightly as well, but you can also move faster. So towards the bottom here, how you can kind of see my lines are more spaced out. If you're using a pen, that's a good strategy to create some sort of shading. Now this backside, because the light's hitting here, this corner, this edge, this whole face, this whole backside is in a shadow. So I'm going to make this the darkest side. Now this doesn't need to be filled in like it's a standardized test bubble sheet and you need to darken all lines and have everything filled fully. It just needs to be slightly darker than whatever your medium shade was. And in the process, if you kind of lost some of your lines, it's a sketch. You can go back in and just darken those specific edges, and it'll help those edges pop a little bit. So that's a cube. With a cylinder, because the curved side is here, you're not going to have quite such distinct changes in shading. The top I'll treat the same as I did with the cube, but with the shading, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go vertical with my shade lines. Now the backside, which will be the darkest, will slowly transition as I come around. And when I'm looking in terms of grading this as an assignment, I'm just looking to see how well you do that transition. It's just about teaching pencil control. So coming around, now I can erase those extra stray marks, or I can darken the edge that I intend. Again, these are sketches. The idea with these are speed. So there's a bit of a gradient. It gives it a little bit more 3D depth. Now with a sphere, same idea where the light's coming from over here, but now there's no flat top, so it's just going to be, as I go across from the far side to the close side of the light, from some sort of dark gradient, or sorry, dark shade to a lighter one as I go. And I'm just putting less pressure on the pencil as I move across. You can also space lines out a little bit more. And there's a gradient. It'll get a little bit of pop. If I want to blend it more and it's pencil, you can actually just push it around with your finger just a little bit, and it'll make it a little bit smoother. If it's pen, that won't work as well. So there you go. There's shading in 5 minutes or less for 3 shapes. And if you have any questions, please let me know.